Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This video we're looking at NBA. Just had the MLB video posted a little bit ago, so shifting gears to focus on the NBA slate for today. So let's get right into it. 9 games today, starting at 7:30, so extra half hour before lock to get our lineups in, which is always nice so we can kind of get baseball done and then do NBA. But looking back at yesterday, was a fine day. We hit in double ups on DraftKings, hit in cash in some tournaments on FanDuel. So hopefully today we can kind of get into some tournaments on both sites. Let's get right into it. As always, appreciate you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and let's get started. Looking at the point guard options, it's Westbrook is $11,000. Bradley Beal is probable today, so I'm not looking at Westbrook. A tough matchup in Utah. Luka is 10-7 against Philly. There's a chance Porzingis sits on a back-to-back for Dallas today. If that is the case, Luka would be a better play than he is right now. Curry is 10-3, so we need at least like 60 plus out of him at that price tag. The matchup is alright against Denver. He's at home at least. There's no Oubre, so we'll have a little bit more usage. I like going down a little bit more though to like a De'Aaron Fox is just $9,300. This matchup has been great to him all season. He had two huge games against the Pelicans this year, averaging 70.3. He was in the he was like the thumbnail the first time he went absolutely nuts against the Pelicans team, and I'm going right back to him. He plays huge minutes. He put up 50 even in a tough matchup against Utah, as I said, he wasn't going to be popular in that game, and he ended up being low owned again. He might be more popular today, but it doesn't really matter for me. I'm just going to keep playing him because he gives you so much upside, and he gives you a decent floor as well. So love Fox as your point guard, as a pay-up point guard option today. The Jazz are shorthanded. They're without Mike Conley today, and Clarkson is doubtful. So you'll see Donovan Mitchell get a lot of ball handling responsibilities, probably play point guard for most of the time he's out there, and that will help him get more assists. We know he's going to shoot 25 plus times, probably will shoot over 30 times tonight. And in this spot against Washington at home, it's a spot where I will go to him. I just like the way he's been playing recently, and just without Conley and without Clarkson, two guys that play basically both of the point guard. Clarkson plays backup point, Conley plays the main point, and now Mitchell will have the ball in his hands a lot more, which is a great sign for him to kind of put up 60, potentially get up to 60 DraftKings points tonight. So those two are my favorites at point guard / shooting guard. Other guys to look at the point guard position are John Wall, 8K. He's behind a few guys for me, but I still like playing him with ever since they got rid of Oladipo whenever he's in. John Morant is another candidate at only $6,800. He is way too cheap, so going to go ahead and put him in my last guard spot here, just because, I mean, I didn't never expect a guy like Morant to drop below 7K when he's still playing 35, 38 minutes. And it's against Chicago, whose defense has been garbage all season. Bringing in Vucevic, bringing in some of those reinforcements they did at the trade deadline hasn't helped their defense at all. They might have got even worse defensively, but John Morant at home against the Bulls when his price tag has dipped, even though he's been playing fine recently, I will definitely be jumping on that price tag. So point guard is absolutely loaded on DraftKings today. I will probably get 3, maybe all 4 of my spots: point guard, shooting guard, the guard spot, and utility as a guy at the point guard position. That is point guard eligible. And then the last guy that I like a lot at this position is going to be Chris Chiozza, just because he is min-priced, $3,000. The Brooklyn Nets are depleted. No Harden, no Kyrie today, out with a personal reason again. Aldridge is ruled out, so basically they have Durant, who will still be on a minutes limit, most likely. Harris is 56, so he's not the best point per dollar play. I'd rather go down to a Jeff Green at $4,600, just because you'll get a lot more minutes. Probably might even start at center today. Bruce Brown looks fine. But you can save $1,800 and go with a guy like Chris Chiozza, who will probably start at point guard today if they wanted to. Probably get you at least high teens, most likely low 20s, maybe mid 20s in minutes if he's starting. Whether or not he's starting or not is going to be a big piece of news. I do think he will, because they have like 9 guys that they can probably, like, they have more guys they can play, but I don't think they want to play Perry. And we'll see what they decide to do, but I expect Chiozza to get at least 25 minutes tonight, hopefully, and if that does happen at 3K, in this matchup against Minnesota, will probably end up putting up, maybe 8x value. If he gets 24 DraftKings points, that would be 8x. That would be great. So definitely want to get a couple of Brooklyn pieces in there. Hopefully, Chiozza ends up in the starting lineup. But yeah, that is basically the point guard position. It's absolutely loaded on DraftKings. I got 4 guys that I really like in all different tiers. You got a cheap guy, mid-range, and then 2 expensive guys. At shooting guard, it's Donovan Mitchell, who I plugged in. He's my favorite guy. Other guys to consider are Zach LaVine, at that price tag. D'Angelo Russell, just because he's affordable still, but he healed in a great matchup against the Pelicans. I like healed more than Halliburton now that Burton's coming back off the bench. And then if you wanted to go value, it's basically Bruce Brown at $4,800 as a candidate here. And then we'll see what other piece of news that we get on the slate, because we'll definitely get some injuries on the slate. Small forward, depending on Porzingis, you can consider Luka. Ingram is 85 against Sacramento. If Lonzo's back, that'll hurt him a little bit. But the matchup is great if you wanted to stack that game up, stack up that game, stack up the Utah side. Basically, I think that's a great approach today. Then you have Kuzma. If he's out or not, that will be important to get some value from the Lakers side, so we'll have to see about his status. Oubre's already been ruled out, so you can go with a $4,300 Ken Bazemore, who ended up starting and he ended up playing 32 minutes, put up 30 DraftKings points. He's a fine value right now. You have Patrick Williams as another fine value option today. And you have some more on the Jazz side that you can consider, like Joe Ingles at $5,700. Will get you a lot more minutes tonight without Conley and without Clarkson. And you also have Bogdanovic at 49. You'll get a little bit more shots to go around. It's always with him, it's just a matter of hitting his shots, because if he's not hitting his shots, he's not going to return too much value because he's not a great defensive player, so he's not going to get very many blocks or steals. And the rebounds are basically all gobbled up by Rudy Gobert. Power forward, Zion looks great at 97. He's been absolutely killing it recently. If you get Lonzo out, it'll help him just because he'll get more assist opportunities. But I do like him either way against a team that gives up the most points in the paint this year. He should have a dunk fest tonight. Holmes is fine at $7,300 price tag. You get a power forward option playing center minutes, which is great. And then you can probably go cheap at this position for like an Aaron Gordon. Is only $5,800. If you play a bunch of teams, he should definitely be in your player pool because he gives you 40+ point upside. And the value at this position is also strong. You have Jeff Green, who I do like quite a bit. $4,600 for him. You'll be logging heavy minutes tonight, possibly over 35, 36 minutes tonight with no Aldridge and no Kyrie. So we'll probably start at power forward, might even start at center today. If he starts at center, that'll help him get a little bit more rebounds. But either way, his price tag has dipped below 5K after it was like 51, 53, 5,200 recently. Matchup is excellent, and there's a lot of usage to go around for the Brooklyn Nets tonight with all these injuries. And then another guy to consider is Blake Griffin at 45, but I think Green will start over him, so I'd prefer Green just $100 more. And then Cameron Johnson as a value option at $3,500 is interesting because he might only play 17 minutes. He might end up playing 18, but there's a chance he go play 20, 25, even he played 37 against the Jazz. Don't expect him to play that much, but if you put him in there for like 22, 23 minutes, you'll probably end up getting you over 20 DraftKings points, and that would be a fine value at $3,500. Center today, we saw Valanciunas go absolutely bonkers like last night against who did they play last night? I think Charlotte or against Indiana. I put up 69.5. Was amazing. He's been killing it over the past few games for them. He might end up being super popular today because of that huge game. And if you wanted to avoid that because of the potential high ownership, you can go up to a Rudy Gobert, who's only $7,900. No Conley and no Clarkson. That's just going to help Gobert get a little bit more usage on offense. Maybe get a couple more shots because I don't expect Donovan Mitchell, although he probably wants to. I don't think he'll shoot 40+ times tonight. You'll see Gobert be able to dominate in the paint here against guys like Robin Lopez and Alex Len. They're no match for Rudy Gobert. I'm expecting him to put up 40, 45, potentially get up to like 50+ DraftKings points tonight, and the price tag is very nice on him. So at center, if you're not going to go all the way up for a Jokic or a Karl-Anthony Towns, or even an Embiid, you can go down to Gobert at only $7,900, and I do like Valanciunas at $7,300. They're both at really good price tags. And then for cheap end at this position, you have Bamba's been getting a lot of run for the Magic backup center at $4,300 against the Spurs. That is a candidate to play. And then Claxton from the Nets side will get some more minutes today at center without Aldridge. So that's another candidate to look at. But I do feel pretty strongly about these 6 as a first look. We'll see later in the day what kind of news we get. But I do like the initial build with these 6 in your lineup. So that's it for DK. Let's go over to FanDuel. This FanDuel slate, point guard options, it starts with Westbrook. He's 11K. He's not on my radar today just because I like a lot of other guys. I could save $1,500 and go to a De'Aaron Fox, save almost $1,500 and go to, or save $900 and go to Steph Curry, save $800 and go to Doncic. Those three look better to me than Westbrook does against the Jazz. I don't want to go to Chris Paul at $8,800. That price tag is pretty high, even though it is against his former team. Could have some revenge. Definitely has some revenge on his mind, but that price tag is kind of already high enough to where I don't see a ton of upside at that price tag. We'll see on Lonzo. We'll see on Jamal Murray. Murray is in. He looks playable at $7,900. John Morant is nicely priced on FanDuel at 71. He looks a little bit better on DraftKings, but he's playable on both sites. And then for value at this position, I don't see a ton right now besides Chris Chiozza, who is $3,700. Gives you quite a bit of upside. But right now I'm going to go ahead and put in De'Aaron Fox just because I'm expecting big things out of Fox tonight in this game. Shooting guard, it's got to be Donovan Mitchell on 9K. He looks better than Booker. He looks better than Zach LaVine. He looks better than Beal. Beal played 29 and 30 minutes in his first two games. We'll see if they keep him on that limit. Like, if they keep him to like 30 minutes, that will hurt his upside. He's at a good price tag, though, so he's in consideration, but I'd rather go up to a Donovan Mitchell. Other candidates are Horton Tucker if there's no Kuzma. Halliburton just because he's cheap at $5,700. Bruce Brown, $55. He's kind of priced up on FanDuel, so he's not that interesting for me at least. I know people will probably play him though. And then you could look to Shamet if he ends up starting, but no, I don't really like playing him. Small forward, it is Durant is 94. He's the most expensive candidate here. He's going to be limited still, so there's a chance he could go nuts in like 25 minutes just with no Harden, no Kyrie. So he's a tournament option, but I don't think you need to play him in cash. I will go down here, potentially for like a Buddy Hield at only $6,300. I like that price tag on Buddy. And then you have Bogdanovic at only $5,200. He'll get a lot more minutes and especially a lot more usage tonight and a lot more shot attempts with no Conley. Patrick Williams is fine at 45. Cameron Johnson is 41. He looks better on DraftKings. Right now, the position isn't super deep, so you could end up getting to like an Ingram at the top. I'm going to go ahead and put in just Buddy Hield right now. I'd expect both Hield and Fox to get a lot of shots today. And Buddy Hield should get a lot of open looks at 3, so hopefully he knocks him down. Power forward, it is Zion is 10K. Julius Randle is 96. Randle's going up against his former team in the Lakers at home. Both guys are in play. If you get some more value, I'd probably lean to Zion just because he's been killing it recently and the matchup is just so good. In the 7K range, you have Christian Wood is fine. In the 6K range, we have Gordon at 61. He also looks appealing just because he's affordable. You can go cheaper here, and I'll see if anybody in the 4K range looks appealing. That's basically Blake Griffin at $4,600. You have Lowry Markkanen at $4,700. Power forward is not particularly filled with a ton of guys that look really, really good. I'll end up probably getting to maybe one of these 6K options. I don't mind going to Aaron Gordon at only 61 against this Warriors defense. Maybe Jamal Murray is out and gets a little bit more usage, but he's had some good games even with Murray in there as a Nugget. And the minutes for him have been pretty fine. Been about 31, 31, 24, 24, 34. Can get up to, in close games, up to like 34, which is good to see. So for now, we'll just plug in Gordon. Hopefully we get some better plays at the power forward position. And then at center, it's basically the same guys. If you wanted to pay up, you have 3 top-end studs. Based on the price tags, I like Jokic, then Embiid, then Towns. I don't think Vooch kind of fits the criteria. I'd rather go down to a Valanciunas or a Gobert. Gobert is 85, Valanciunas 78. Both of those guys look like they're going to put up north of 40, 45, maybe 50 plus. Drummond, 65 against the Knicks. He's playable. He split some minutes with Harrell, so if they're splitting center minutes, it's going to be tough for both of them to hit value, and it's going to be tough for one of them to go nuts. And Bamba is 52, so he's kind of priced up on FanDuel at least. I'm going to go ahead and just put in Gobert against the Wizards, expecting him to be able to do some things. He could get a lot of blocks today with Westbrook, loves to drive in the paint. Bradley Beal drives in the paint at times, and he doesn't really have a scary matchup that's going to stop him. So hopefully he gets a lot of putbacks, hopefully he gets a ton of rebounds, and hopefully that game is close enough to where we get full minutes out of Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I'll catch you guys all next time.